I used to believe that the worst pain a person could feel was losing their spouse. When my husband, Thomas, died of a sudden brain aneurysm 8 years ago, I thought grief had already shown me its sharpest edge. I was wrong. Grief wounds the heart, but betrayal poisons the soul. And betrayal, especially from your own child, leaves a scar that never fully heals. My name is Margaret Lewis. I am 71 years old. I live in a quiet, tree-lined neighborhood in Pasadena, California, in the same house Thomas and I bought in 1979 when we were young, broke, and deeply in love. Back then, the house cost $110,000. Today, realtors slip business cards into my mailbox telling me it's worth over $2.8 million. I never cared about that number. To me, it was just home. It was where my children grew up, where birthdays were celebrated, where my husband took his last breath in our bedroom with my hand in his. I have one living child now, my daughter, Rachel. Her older brother died in a car accident when he was 19. Losing a child nearly destroyed me, but Rachel survived, and for years she was my anchor. She was bright, ambitious, sharp-tongued in a way I admired. She moved to New York after college, married a man named Andrew, and built what looked like a successful life in finance. For years, we spoke every Sunday evening. She told me about her job, about the markets, about restaurants I'd never visit. I told her about my garden, my church friends, the book club I attended on Wednesdays. She always sounded rushed, but I told myself that was just city life. Everything changed after Andrew lost his job. Rachel called me late one night, her voice trembling in a way I hadn't heard since her brother died. "Mom," she said, "I don't know what we're going to do." She told me Andrew's firm collapsed, that they were drowning in debt, that New York was bleeding them dry. And then she said something that sounded loving, responsible, even thoughtful. "You shouldn't be alone anymore." At first, I laughed. I told her I was fine. I drove myself, I cooked, I volunteered, I lived. But Rachel kept pressing. She spoke about safety, about memory issues, about how fast things could go wrong at my age. She mentioned a neighbor who fell in the shower and wasn't found for days. She painted pictures with words, and each one made me feel smaller, more fragile. Then she said, "Dad wouldn't want you alone." That sentence did what logic couldn't. I agreed. They moved in 2 months later. At first, it felt like family again. Rachel cooked my favorite meals. Andrew fixed things around the house. They insisted I relax more, let them handle things. Slowly, without my permission, my life began shrinking. Rachel started opening my mail by accident. She insisted on attending doctor appointments. She told friends I was confused sometimes. I noticed my checkbook missing one day. She said she'd moved it for safety. One night, she brought out a folder filled with legal papers and placed it in front of me like a gift. "This will protect you," she said. The words inside told a different story. Power of attorney, medical authority, trustee rights, her name everywhere. When I said I wanted my lawyer to review it, her smile stiffened. "Mom, do you not trust me?" That was the moment my stomach tightened. I called Edward Bloom, my lawyer for over 30 years. When he read the documents, he went quiet. Then he asked me if I felt safe. That night, I stopped sleeping. A week later, I overheard something I was never meant to hear. I had returned early from church and sat in my car when I saw Andrew's car still there. The window near the kitchen was open. Rachel's voice floated out. The doctor already documented cognitive decline. Andrew replied, "But she's fine." She doesn't need to be sick, she just needs to be old. Rachel laughed. They talked about conservatorship, about selling the house, about placing me somewhere nice but not expensive. She won't fight it, Rachel said. She never does. I sat there shaking, realizing my daughter had already decided I was done. Edward introduced me to a private investigator named Helen Cross. She specialized in elder financial exploitation. Cameras were installed, calls recorded, emails monitored. What we found was devastating. Rachel had contacted realtors. Andrew discussed timelines. They calculated how long I had left. She had a good life, Rachel said on one recording. This house should benefit us now. That sentence broke something inside me that never repaired. We decided to let them think they were winning. I pretended to forget things. I acted unsure. I told Rachel she was right, that I needed help. Her relief was immediate, almost joyful. The signing meeting was scheduled for a Friday morning. Rachel and Andrew arrived dressed like executives, but they weren't the only ones who arrived. Edward was there, Adult Protective Services, 2 police officers, and my best friend, Helen, a retired judge. We played the recordings. Rachel collapsed into a chair. Andrew stared at the floor. Rachel screamed that I had betrayed her. No, I said quietly, you tried to erase me. They were removed from my home that day. Charges followed: probation, fines, a restraining order. The house is quiet again now, sometimes too quiet. I miss the daughter I thought I had, but I wake up every morning knowing my life still belongs to me, and that is worth everything.